Have you ever touched a profound sense of connection with all that is? A moment of true, inner silence, only to find yourself, in the very next breath, feeling a unique kind of aloneness in the world. Many walk this path. They share insights of feeling one with the flow of life, yet quietly ask, why do I feel so disconnected from others? Why does meaningful partnership seem so distant? There is a deep wisdom in this seeming contradiction. It is not a sign that you have erred, but a signal that your journey has truly begun. You have awakened to your own vastness, yet you now seek a reflection in another. It is like a single drop of water. Having remembered it is the vast ocean, now feeling troubled that it cannot find another drop to journey with. This experience isn't a flaw in your path. It is a profound feature of it. Once you understand the nature of this passage, you will see that what feels like a barrier is, in fact, a gateway to a connection far deeper than the one you left behind. Let us explore the nature of love from this awakened space, and why the old ways of relating no longer hold the same meaning. If this path of self-discovery resonates with you, I invite you to join a community of fellow travelers, a space for quiet understanding. To affirm your own journey, declare this in the comments below. I am Cultivate. It's a powerful reminder for you and an offering of encouragement for others who will read it. And if you feel called, subscribe to continue walking this path together. The first truth to embrace is that what society often labels as love is frequently a form of intricate negotiation. It is a silent agreement between two beings, each feeling an inner void. We are guided from a young age by a compelling narrative that you are an incomplete half, searching the world for your missing piece to become whole. This is a powerful story, a beautiful myth that captures millions. So our lives become a search for this external completion. We adorn ourselves, we master the right phrases, we polish our appearance, all while harboring a deep-seated fear of being overlooked, of being deemed unworthy of being chosen. This is the common stage for romance, two individuals, convinced of their own lack, seeking to be rescued by another. For a time, this dance can feel vibrant. The initial intensity, the longing, the endless thoughts of the other person. We call this falling in love. Observe that word, falling, as if it's an accident, a loss of balance, something that befalls you rather than a state you consciously cultivate. And what is the fuel for this fall? It is not love. It is need. A deep, quiet, desperate need. The need for an escape from the profound silence of being with oneself. The need for another's gaze to affirm our own existence. On the surface, it is adorned with poetry and grand gestures. But at its core, it is often two souls using one another as shelter from a storm they perceive within themselves. Now, this is where your path takes a turn. As your awareness deepens, you begin to perceive this dynamic with new eyes. You recognize that what you once called love was often fear dressed in beautiful robes. You notice how much of that burning passion was simply an echo of your own anxiety. You see how devotion was often a form of bargaining. I will be your sanctuary if you will be mine. I will quiet your fears if you will quiet my own. Once you witness this, truly witness it, the perception is permanent. It's like seeing the artist's brushstrokes behind a magnificent painting. You can still admire the beauty of the artwork, but you are no longer lost in the illusion. The story no longer holds you captive. This is why those who are awakening find the conventional games of love so difficult to engage in. Not because their hearts have grown cold, but because they have grown too clear to participate in a shared illusion. They have seen the source of the river. They recognize the familiar songs are melodies of longing, not wholeness. The entire performance, beautiful and poignant as it may be, is a dance of two incomplete circles trying to become one. But here is the transformative insight. When you awaken, you uncover something profound. You are not, and never were, empty. That inner void you feared, the loneliness you sought to fill, was a shadow cast by a belief you held. The truth is, you are not a fragment seeking its other part. You are the entire tapestry. You are the whole of existence, experiencing itself through the unique form that is you. You are as complete in this moment as you will ever be. To think you need another to be whole is like the sky thinking it needs a specific cloud to be vast. It is already the sky. It has always been the sky. When this understanding moves from your mind into your very being, everything changes. The restless searching for a savior begins to subside. You cease evaluating every encounter as a potential solution to a problem that never existed, because you are no longer on a quest for completion. You are resting in it. This realization brings an immense sense of liberation. There is an incredible peace in no longer needing another's approval to feel your own worth. But it comes with a condition, and the condition is this: you cannot return to the old performance. You cannot pretend that the beautiful dramas of transactional romance are your reality. You can no longer allow yourself to be swept away when you see the currents so clearly. This is where a new kind of aloneness may visit. It is not the loneliness of physical solitude. One can sit for hours in quiet contentment. This is the loneliness of clarity. It is the experience of standing still on a mountain, while the rest of the world hurries through the valleys below. The games they play are earnest and consuming, but you cannot join in. Not from a place of judgment, but from a place of knowing. You meet someone, they are bright, they are kind, they show interest in you. In the past, this was the first chapter of the story, the dance of pursuit, of longing, of two becoming one. But now, you see the entire arc of the story before it begins. You foresee the initial intoxication, the eventual friction of unmet needs, and the slow, quiet realization that neither can provide what the other truly seeks, because what is sought lies within. And so you pause. This pause is born not of fear, but of wisdom. You cannot knowingly walk into a room when you see the doors are locked from the inside. You cannot drink from a cup you know holds illusion. This gentle refusal to participate in the old drama can set you apart. Others may sense it. They may feel that you are moving to a different rhythm, which may create a sense of unease or perhaps curiosity. But in either case, it creates a space. Here is a truth that is rarely spoken about: the path of awakening. It elevates your standards for connection. Previously, you might have been content with someone who shared your humor, who found you appealing, who could fill the silence. But now, that is not the foundation. You seek something else, something the language of conventional romance does not have a word for. You seek someone who has also seen the play for what it is, someone who knows their own wholeness, someone who isn't looking to you to complete their puzzle. Because only from that space of two whole beings can a true meeting occur, not as solutions to each other's problems, but as two conscious expressions of the same stillness, like two mountains sharing the same sky. The challenge, of course, is that such individuals are not common. Most are still deeply immersed in the narrative of finding their other half. They are still building their sense of self upon the validation of another. They are playing the game with profound sincerity, and there is no fault in this. You played it as well until one day you didn't. But the truth remains. The landscape of potential connection has changed. Where there once were countless paths, now there are but a few that lead to the depth you seek. Where you might once have been drawn to a smile or a sharp mind, you now require something more. You need a resonance of being. You need them to sense what you sense, to see what you see, and that naturally narrows the field. This is why many who are awake in their spirit find themselves in a season of aloneness. Not because they are incapable of love, but because they can no longer engage with what is not true love. They have outgrown that story, like a person who has seen the sun and can no longer be content with the drawing of it. The old narratives feel hollow. They require substance, a truth, and sometimes, for a long time, that genuine connection does not appear. Years may pass. You will meet people, share conversations, feel moments of warmth, but none seem to touch that core space where you truly reside. And so, you remain in this solitude, not with bitterness or despair, but with a kind of dignified, patient stillness. You are waiting for one who speaks the language of silence, who has journeyed to the same inner landscape and knows its terrain. There is a powerful integrity in this kind of aloneness. You are choosing authenticity over comfort. You are choosing to stand in your own light, even if it means standing by yourself rather than to kneel in a shared shadow. But it is not always a simple path. There are moments when the quiet feels heavy, when you question your own choices. You may see others in their familiar relationships, with all their dramas and their comforts, and a part of you might wonder if that path would be easier. If, perhaps, this clarity has come at too high a cost. And in a way it has. It has cost you your ability to find satisfaction in illusion. It has cost you the option of using another to hide from yourself. It has cost you the comfort of forgetting what you now know. These are real costs, and at times they can feel immense. But here is what you must hold fast to. You cannot go back. Even if you were to try to put on the old costume and play the part, your heart would not be in it. The shift has occurred. You have tasted something authentic, and once you have tasted pure water, you can never again be quenched by that which is not. So, what is there to do? You live, you expand. You continue your journey of growth and discovery. You keep your heart open, but not with a desperate seeking. You do not allow bitterness to take root. You simply hold the understanding that true love for you now must spring from a different source, not from need, but from abundance, not from fear, but from freedom, not from the grasping of two halves, but from the serene encounter of two whole and complete beings. And perhaps that encounter happens. Perhaps one day you meet another who has walked a similar path, who carries a certain quality of presence, who sees you, not as a cure for their aloneness, but as a fellow traveler in the great mystery. Someone who doesn't require you for their completion, because their completeness radiates from within. Someone who can love you not out of necessity, but out of choice, because the act of loving is itself the destination. When this occurs, it bears no resemblance to the old idea of falling in love. There is no fever, no anxious obsession. Instead, there is a deep and quiet recognition, a meeting of equals. Two beings already at peace within themselves, choosing to share their peace, not out of need, but out of joy, because it is a beautiful expression of the very freedom they have each cultivated inside. This love does not demand or possess. It simply is, like the flowing of a river, like the shining of the sun. It is a love without an agenda, a love that rests in being. But this kind of meeting is rare, and it is not a promise. You may walk your entire life in this serene aloneness, and you must find peace with that possibility. You must be willing to walk your path with integrity, even if you walk it alone, because the alternative is to betray your own inner knowing. The alternative is to choose to fall asleep again, to wear a costume that no longer fits, and to pretend that another person can solve the mystery of your own existence. And that is a role you can no longer play. You have seen behind the curtain. The veil cannot be put back. So, you carry this profound awareness, this beautiful burden of clarity. You are awake in a world that is, for the most part, dreaming. You see the mechanics of games that others take as their entire reality. And yes, at times it brings a feeling of solitude, but you would not trade it because you have tasted freedom. And true freedom is worth any price. The spiritually aware do not struggle to find love because love has left them. They simply refuse to call anything less than truth by its sacred name. They have ceased to mistake need for love, hunger for passion. In doing so, they have created the space for something far more real to enter, something that might arrive tomorrow, or in the next lifetime, or may already be present in forms you are just learning to see. If you are committed to embracing this profound peace, to living from this place of inner wholeness, then subscribe and continue this exploration. It is a commitment not to a channel, but to the truth that resides within yourself. Because no matter what happens, you hold this truth, you are already whole, you are already complete, you are already free. And that deep, unshakable knowing is more precious than all the counterfeit romances in the world. You would rather be alone in your truth then partnered in an illusion. You have lost the comfort of using another, but you have gained the freedom of simply being yourself. You have let go of the old story of romance, but you have opened yourself to love as a state of being, not an acquisition. A love without conditions, that asks for nothing and emanates everything. And if you never find a single person to mirror that back to you, you still have the love itself. For it was never in another. It was always, and only, within you, waiting for you to come home. It is the ocean, not the wave. And you have finally remembered what you are.